Good morning. Welcome to day 28, May 4th, 2024, Saturday. I don't really think I gave a tour of the room last night. It's a very nice room. It was like $170 when it was all said and done, but everything you could want, nice little shade, these huge dressers huge TV, just internet TV, but so what? Ceiling fan, so nice to have a ceiling fan. They have one of these indoor AC units, very nice, and plus it stays on, so there's some ambient noise. They've got an air filter. The bathroom is top notch. They even have a fancy Q-tip holder with other cotton swabs. You don't see that much anymore. Nice shower. And a pretty decent sized fridge. So the only thing it didn't have was a microwave, which is fine. So the bed was great. Got a really good night's sleep. Sometimes the first night in town, you don't really sleep well. Slept really well last night, so that's a huge plus. There's gonna be a community breakfast in about 45 minutes. I might head over there, more so to see if I can finagle a ride back to the trail without having to stick a thumb out, although I think here that's fine as well. As I've mentioned quite a few times now in the past few videos, got a 200-mile carry to Tehachapi. I'm not planning on stopping for any resupply. And there was one comment asking just to see what that looks like resupply wise. So I think I'll just, and I think it's interesting. So I'll kind of go over all the food I'm bringing, 200 miles. So if I do 20-mile days, that's 10 days, but I'm not gonna do 10 20-mile days. I might get 1 or 2 20-mile days. So then you start realistically thinking, all right, well, how long is this journey gonna take? So if I average 15-mile days, it'll take me just over 13 days. If I average 18-mile days, it'll take me just over 11 days. Now that this is the first day out, I'm not doing a full day today. Who knows how far we'll get today, but it won't be any more than 10 miles, it might be less. So keeping that in mind, I may need 13, 14 days worth of food. What am I bringing? Here we go. So I'm not a big breakfast person typically, so I'll start out the day at some point with either 1 or 2 Cliff Bars in the morning, and then I'll supplement that with these Kind bars every once in a while, and that's pretty much my morning routine. Every morning I'm gonna have coffee. I actually got some Starbucks dark this time, got fancy. It's a little decaf, creamer, hot chocolate, Splenda packets. The thing that's gonna be key for me in the desert is I still have some of these electrolytes, and I'm really going overboard on the Tailwind. I feel like I'll be doing like Tailwind shots. I've been consistently doing them at least once a day, like halfway in the day, and then another one at camp maybe. So that might be bumped up to like 2 during the day and then 1 at camp. It just really is what I'm craving in the desert sections, it seems. So I'll definitely be having plenty of Tailwind and plenty of electrolytes to get me through the section. So then what else do I snack on if I'm feeling hungry? It's 2 things. It's jerky. Oh, I also have a little bit of bacon jerky. And then during like the afternoon, I'll snack on some honey roasted peanuts sometimes. I only have 1 bag of these this time. I usually have more, but I switched up for more jerky. And as you can see, I have a lot of jerky, and I've been craving the jerky on the trail more than anything. I did make some impulse purchases. I love these Cheez-Its, white cheddar cheese, so I'll have those. And I got some bagel crisp just for a little variety. And that basically takes care of everything I'd be snacking on. Once in a blue moon, I don't bring a lot. I have just a little Sour Patch Swedish Fish mix. It seems like once every 10 days, I just have a craving for just pure sugar. So I'll have that. It's funny, one guy in town yesterday at the grocery said he's like totally off chocolate now. He just doesn't want anything with chocolate, even like the breakfast bars. It just, and they said, you know, your tastes change out here. Luckily, I've been backpacking for years and I know what works for me typically. This is all tried and true stuff, so I'm good. All right, so what about dinner? The most important thing. Okay, so for dinner, a lot of times I'll have like especially on a cooler night, I'll have a starter of just some ramen soup. It just hydrates you and it just tastes so good. So I got like 4 of those. I've also sometimes, I'm craving some Norse sides. So same deal, I have like 3 Norse sides. They typically wouldn't be my full dinner, but they would be like the appetizer. And then for the main course, this is really my favorite freeze-dried meal. This sweet pork and rice. I always have like 1 on every leg. And I haven't had one of these yet, but I've been dying to try it, so it's time. And then I take a bunch of other freeze-dried meals, just put them in the Ziploc bag. So I got mac and cheese, beef stroganoff, beef stew, chicken fajita. And then I got some mashed potatoes. Sometimes I'll just have the mashed potatoes with some bacon jerky and I'm good. So that is almost everything except dessert. How can we forget dessert? So my go-to are the peanut M&Ms, and they don't melt because they're in the bear bin, and the bear bin keeps everything cool. Snickers bars, again, they don't melt. And I did impulse purchase. Usually I'll go to the grocery store and get like some big cookies, but this store didn't have them, but they did have the golden Oreos and the chunky Chips Ahoy, so just to supplement. So that's everything I'm taking for however long this segment's gonna be. I'm sure I have a little more food than I need, but I'd rather have more than not enough. So we'll see how much of this I actually go through. Time will tell. But that's a breakdown. Now I gotta get all this packed up efficiently. This is gonna be like Tetris now to get it all to fit. But I think we can do it. Oh, one more thing. Because we did have a large pizza last night, I'm gonna have a treat the first night on the trail. Cold pizza for dinner. And that might be 2 nights, or like a night. I'll have a full serving tonight, and then maybe there'll be a couple slices left over. And then my new trick for when I leave town is I'll have this Gatorade with me, and when I get to the trailhead, I'll down it, throw it away, and then I'll be like good for the initial start, making sure I'm hydrated. All right. So as I'm packing and waiting for the breakfast, the community breakfast, the one other thing you're probably gonna start seeing more of is more just little video snippets of my wife, Sarah, and what she's up to back home. She's not gonna be home the whole time. She's got a lot of fun stuff planned. But I feel like in a lot of the hiking vlogs that I've seen where the couple isn't going out, the one partner goes, the one partner stays, you'll definitely like hear about the partner and sending resupply. But I thought it'd be interesting and kind of different just to see what's going on back at the home front. So you might start seeing more Sarah. She's in all the other backpacking videos. So I wanted to have more Sarah in there anyway, just to give a flavor for, you know, yeah, I'm out here selfishly doing this, but I would never be able to do it without Sarah's support. So, and you know, she's got stuff going on. So just for a little different flair, I don't know, see how it goes. I think it's kind of interesting. Yeah, all right, see you in a little bit. Hopefully at breakfast. One more thing, just logistics talk. Obviously I'm doing a reset on the propane and the battery packs now. So my battery packs are fully charged. I've got 2 full canisters of propane. I think I actually will probably get through 1 canister and probably have to use the second one. Maybe, we'll see. I think my overall strategy is to maybe go a little faster in the desert and then slow down a bit in the Sierras. I mean, the snow's gonna slow me down anyway, but that's really such a beautiful section of trail. I'd rather, you know, do 10 to 12 miles a day in the Sierras and really soak it all in, and kind of go through the desert sections a little quicker. And like, for instance, today's video, it's May 4th, and this video won't actually be uploaded to YouTube until late May, around May 29th. So I've built up a pretty decent backlog, and that's intentional. I mean, it'd be great to have them more real time, but I think through the Sierras from Kennedy Meadows South all the way to South Lake Tahoe, I'm probably not gonna have enough of a signal or Wi-Fi to upload anything. So I just like to have the consistency of having a video out, you know, every day, Monday through Friday. And then when I get to South Lake Tahoe, I can get back up to speed without hopefully any interruption. So, and I know I'm gonna be slower in the Sierras most likely. So that's kind of what I'm thinking there. So I think this will be the longest segment so far by another 25 miles. I'm gonna have some really long ones in the Sierras. So again, a good test run. All right, that's enough until breakfast. All right, we're gonna go check out this community breakfast thing. Maybe just do a quick pop in, see what they got. Maybe we'll stay, maybe we won't. Definitely the kind of thing where you don't want to eat too much. That could be a problem. Looks like we got a little setup here. All right, we got a little, looks like an outing happening later today. Man, that was just a cool setup in there with the breakfast. Saw a lot of familiar faces. Some people I haven't seen in quite a while. Met a new guy I was talking to for quite a bit. Younger guy, actually 4 years younger than my son, from the UK. Very cool. It took me, you know, there's so much ambient noise in there with everyone talking, and with the slight accent, I had to keep saying, sorry, please, what did you say? But after a while, you start to understand better. Yeah, really, really nice guy. Figuring life out like everybody else. So I'm gonna head back to the room, get situated, and then maybe start looking for a ride back to the trail. All right, I'm all packed up. It's about 9:45. The community breakfast was from 8 to 10, so just went back there looking for a ride. The guy at the door said he would drive me on down, so just gonna grab my super heavy, fully loaded backpack and accept the ride. Sure. It's a great town. Almost want to stay here another day, but I'm glad I'm like leaving. That's probably for the best. All right, we're back at the trail, Inspiration Point. Just got dropped off by Gary, who was at the breakfast this morning. He worked the fire lines in LA County, so he had some good stories. And it's a little after 10 o'clock. We're gonna put some tunes on and we're gonna start climbing and get set up for Baden-Powell in the morning. So let's go. All right, back on the trail, just starting our climb. So Gary told me they had a turnout of about 150 people, big turnout, and they only do it once a season. They'd like to do it more, but you know, organizing it and the cost. So just got super lucky to be here for that. Just a great sense of community, seeing a bunch of people I haven't seen for weeks. So back on the trail, let's put some miles in. right, we're about an hour in. Trail's been really nice, mostly shady, pretty level. Just cruising along, reminiscing on a great day in Wrightwood yesterday and part of this morning. All right, just had a little break. Took a look at far out to see where we might end up tonight. Looks like there's a water source about 4.5 miles from here. Could camp there, or there could be some camping about a half mile north of that. And that'll set us up for Baden-Powell in the morning. So it'll be a relatively short mileage day, but that's all right. We'll hang in the tent, we'll get back into nature. There are some snow patches, I'll show you in a second. Yeah, so the trail still has some snow on the north facing and west facing side, so nothing sketchy though. So we'll keep going to the water source. All right, that mountain up there is Mount Baden-Powell. Hopefully we'll be summiting that tomorrow morning. All right, we made it to the Vincent Gap trailhead. There's a spring about 2 miles north with camping, as long as even if there's snow, just hoping that I can get some water. Worst case scenario, just melt snow for the night. Don't need any water for freeze-dried meals. I got the cold pizza, so we'll be in good shape. Gonna just rest the shoulders for a minute or two and then keep on climbing. All right, these switchbacks that are kind of buried in the snow are a little steeper, so it's getting a little more aggressive, so I'm gonna put the spikes on and keep on climbing. Try and stay to the switchbacks as much as we can. As soon as I got up the first set of switchbacks, of course, somehow a decent sized pebble got in my trail runner. So had to stop, take off the trail runner, take off the microspike, get the pebble out, and we're ready to go again. Looks like we got about 4 more switchbacks until where I'm hoping to camp tonight. We'll see if it's snow covered or not. So the past couple switchbacks haven't needed my spikes. We're back to no snow. I know as soon as I take them off, there's gonna be more snow. So I'm just gonna, I think, leave them on. It's about a little over a half mile to open camp. This is the kind of stuff we're dealing with. There's a decent boot print, but it's getting like later in the day, so it's getting a little less stable. And it's on a bit of an angle, so got to be careful with your foot placements. I keep pulling out far out just because the switchbacks get lost in the snow sometimes. The boot prints aren't necessarily the best way. Just trying to stay on the switchbacks because it's just gentler grade instead of going straight up with this heavy pack. All right, we should be getting close to our last switchback we're gonna have. The snow has gotten steadier. All right, we're slowly making our way the last quarter mile. You can see all the snow. I'm sticking to the switchbacks just because the snow is a bit soft. There was a boot track going straight up of basically bypassing all the switchbacks, but because the snow is a bit soft, I got a heavy pack. I'm not gonna do it. Like when I went up San Jacinto, I went up straight because the snow was nice and firm. So maybe in the morning, it'll be a bit better. And can just take I know there is a boot pack going straight up because I've read some reports, but for this, just gonna take it nice and slow. It does slow you down, but I wouldn't say it's dangerous, especially if you have any kind of experience in snow. None of this is gonna matter because this video isn't gonna come out for another month, but yeah, you just gotta take your time, make sure you got a good boot print, 3 points of contact, and just keep on going. It's not bad. All right, we're about 1,000 feet away from where I was hoping to camp. Will we be camping on snow? I feel like we're going back on the side of the mountain that maybe has less snow, so maybe we'll get lucky. We'll see. All All right, we found a spot to camp. It's not the greatest, but it'll do. Now we're gonna go back down to the spring and get some water. And some weather is coming in, so I wanna kind of be quick about it. All right, we made it to the spring. We're gonna load up on some water here. Snow everywhere and clouds. So that's the path we went to get to the spring. And you can see that slide path. Yep, that was me. Okay, it's 4:30. What the heck just happened? It could have been a lot worse. So I was looking for a spot to camp near the spring. There's a spring here. There's a lot of snow. The path to the spring is not as, what is that, dirt? Still getting dirt out. Hold on. Okay, anyway. So the trail, like I mentioned, there's like a straight up boot pack that it seems like the majority of folks are taking. And then there's the switchbacks that some people are taking. I definitely was taking them and was fine. Then there was the junction for the spring that I showed you. So I started looking around for camping. Wasn't really finding anything. And I started heading towards the spring. Now I should have known that this traffic to the spring wasn't going to be not near as much as the traffic to the summit. I mean, you saw the parking lot. There's a lot of day hikers doing the summit, so the boot prints are more firm. And I had mentioned, I think, that the snow wasn't like the firmest today, and I was looking forward to tomorrow morning when I knew it would be a nice hard boot track to get up to the summit. So anyway, I'm heading to the spring. It's not far. It's like 0.1 mile from the junction. There's a couple of snowy sections. I wouldn't say they were sketchy, but just getting complacent. I wasn't like checking every boot print before I put my full weight on it. And especially for a part of the trail that's not getting a lot of use, I was just like in the mode of the regular trail to Baden-Powell, where a lot of people are packing it down so it's in good shape. It wasn't the same going to the spring. Very few people, I think, are going to the spring. So I put my left foot down in the boot print, and the next thing I knew, the boot print gave way. One of my trekking poles was still sticking up straight. Started sliding down the snow. Yeah, it all happens real quick. So, and I had a heavy pack on, so it was not easy to arrest, but just dug in, made sure I was, stayed on my back, dug the feet in, got the hands in, and just slowed everything down. Just real soft, slushy snow. And I probably went down 150 or so feet. Somehow I banged my eye up, you can see. And again, everything looks a lot worse because I am on a blood thinner. So I already got a bandana and some warm water and treated it, put some Neosporin on it. I got a little cut on my leg, did the same thing. So everything's fine as far as that goes. Then had to climb back up to the left and the right of the snowfield. There was, it's that loose dirt scree kind of stuff that's not easy to get up. So I was basically on all fours without a trekking pole, because they were, the other one I lost pretty early on, and my sunglasses. I retrieved them all. They were like 10 feet below, maybe 20 feet below where I had started to fall from the trail. So retrieved everything. But yeah, I'm crawling on all fours, just grabbing on and looking for down trees that are holding or rocks that aren't going to give way. It just takes a while. And plus what just happened. So I climbed up whatever it was, 150 feet, got back on the trail, took a minute, took a breath, got my stuff back, left the pack there, and then I still didn't know where the spring was or if there was camping there. So I continued on. The spring was only like another 30 feet away. At least there might be, the actual spring might be further, but there was like a boulder where water was running. You saw me fill up there. But no camping. So I'm like, all right. I didn't want to bother getting water right then. I already had a heavy enough pack, and I had to go back the way that I took the spill. So threw the pack back on, made my own super secure boot prints on that section that gave on me, and just took my time. I could kick myself for just rushing a little bit. So got back to the junction, and then I just started looking around for a campsite, and found one. It's not the greatest, but it's not on the snow and it's level enough. And quite honestly, at that point, I could care less. I just wanted to get camp set up. So after that, got everything set up, and I didn't feel like melting snow all night. And you gotta face your fear. So I put the backpack on. I just took my smart water liter bottles and my brand new Knock. It's so new, so fresh. And went back to where the fall happened, and just crossed it real careful boot steps, and no problem got to the spring. I forgot to bring my cup though, because it really wasn't super scoopable, but you saw I finagled it with the Knock, so I was able to get all the water I need. Came back over the place again where I fell, and here I am, safe and sound. So a little bit of a scare. Yeah, the mountain doesn't care. So luckily it all worked out, and it wasn't that big of a deal, and I have a little bruise to show for it. So I'm hoping the snow really firms up. The guy who drove me to the trailhead said it's supposed to cool down tonight, which is good. Nice firm snow. I think it's only like 2 miles to the summit, and then getting down to the other side, that snow should still be nice and firm, and then we're back in business. So I'm just gonna relax here. In the middle of all the chaos, I've made a hot chocolate, and this impulse buy, these bagel, whatever they are, crisp, garlic and something, chive, or I don't remember. They're so good. So I'm just relaxing, processing everything, and I'll probably be back for a little recap. I think we only ended up being 6 miles, but again, the snow is going to slow you down, but we're at a pretty good elevation. Yeah, there's pizza for dinner, so that's great. All right, that's the story. Learn from my mistakes. Double check your boot prints. I guess just a quick follow-up to that, did I consider not even mentioning any of that? Of course I did. But I'm going to keep this, what's happening is what's happening. And everyone makes mistakes. And for the most part, we get lucky with the mistakes we make. I got lucky. And I think 90% of the time, 95% of the time, you get lucky. But it definitely teaches you, to stay humble and, respect the mountain and respect nature, because things happen in an instant. And sometimes it's just an accident, and you just have no control over it, no matter how prepared you are, or how much experience you have, or how many times you've done the trail, or in the conditions and all that stuff. It does not matter. So yeah, I definitely wanted to keep that in here, because, maybe down the road one day, somebody will remember, oh, I remember when Thirsty took a big spill. I better double check these boot prints. So yeah, learn from my mistakes. It's 99% of the time, it's a great time out here. Well, 95% of the time. 4% of the time, it can be miserable with rain or heat or whatever. We really haven't had a lot of that yet. There were a couple days. And then 1% of the time, it can just be scary. So this was a scary time. And they do happen. And I mean, you're doing 2,600 miles, you just know there's going to be situations, and you just hope, you know, you're prepared enough to deal with it. So yeah, that's it. You're looking at a guy who's still processing a scary fall. So time for some more hot chocolate. All right, just a quick recap. We're at about 7,800 feet. We ended up doing about 6.5 miles. We're set up hopefully for a summit tomorrow. Just gonna relax, keep eating, keep hydrating, and we'll see you in the morning.
Good morning from day 2 of my sewing retreat. So I have my station all set up here, but then you can see, so my quilt's the circle one across the wall. Then you can see all the different quilts that people do. So it's so early that a lot of people are still asleep because there's a lot of night owls in our group, and so they stayed up till like midnight, 1, I don't even know. I went to bed around 9:30, 10 o'clock. But I'm up early, 7 o'clock, ready to go. And so I have a day of sewing. We're right on the ocean in Maine, so I'll go for a nice walk this afternoon. But yeah, let's get to it. Beautiful break from my quilt retreat to take a walk along this beautiful beach in Maine.